And this type of hair is actually very difficult to grow out because it breaks easy. The wind will break my hair. My pillowcase can break my hair. The collar of my shirt can break my hair. Hair dye can break my hair. The wrong brush can break my hair. And so you might be thinking, well, Caitlin, how did you grow out your hair without just keeping it in like a claw clip at the base of your neck and like never styling it, never using a hair dryer? Like, how did you do that? I will tell you how. First, hello girly pops, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and I run the blog called Mrs. Midwest. Today is going to be a sit down video, but of the more lighthearted variety, because we are not talking about cultural, like societal topics today. We're going to talk about hair, specifically my hair and how I grew it so long. This has been a requested topic because, as you can see, the hair has like gotten to the length where it can be tucked into high-waisted pants. And no, it's not just from pregnancy hormones, because I had my last baby almost 3 years ago. And I've been through postpartum hair loss. I've been through like breakage and all types of craziness that if you've watched my other hair video made 2-ish years ago, I went over a lot of that, maybe even 2.5 years ago. But as you can see, I've kept the length, I've honed my skills. So today we're gonna rehash a bit of my hair story, how I grew my hair long, and we're also gonna go over some general tips and tricks for growing your hair long. That will be applicable to all hair types, but also some special little hacks if you have my hair type. We're going to be going through it all. As usual, your girl is not a hair expert. I am a hair amateur. I am a person who just so happened to grow my hair long, and you know, I'm kind of like proud of that. And you guys asked in my recent vlog comments and on my Instagram, girl, we need an updated hair video. So here I am for you. This video is going to be a lot faster and more condensed than some of my more recent hour-long content. So have no fear, we are not going to be talking about long hair for a full hour. So with all that being said, let's dive in. So what is my hair story? Well, I have had the worst hair ever, like breaking off, fried, nasty, rat's nest hair. I've had waist length hair at other times in my life, not just now, but when I was in middle school. I grew my hair long enough to donate. I've also been there and back with bleach blonde hair dye. So currently this is my natural hair color. Some people don't know this, but yes, blonde hair can grow out of people's heads. I've seen people arguing about this online, like, oh, you're not a natural blonde, because they see a bit of dark at the roots. It's just because it grows out like this ashy color a little bit, and then the sun hits it and it lightens up, especially because we just had summer. My hair is very blonde. But believe it or not, I got sucked into the bleach blonde hair dye train just like everybody else. When I was in high school and college, it started with highlights, and then it was box dye, and then it was like my whole head being bleached blonde. And then what happened, my hair was just shredding. And so by the time I got married, my hair was this long. It was like a lob, you know, a long bob, and I could not grow it longer than that. I told this in my last hair video. I went into the hairdresser and I had tears in my eyes, and my hair was in this like cruddy little bun of dried rat's nest at the bottom of my neck, and I like took out my hair and it was just frazzled and fried and dead, and I was like crying at the hair salon because I just wanted healthy hair. I did not care anymore what color it was. I didn't care like really what it looked like. I just wanted healthy hair. So I went on a hair journey where I decided to grow out my natural hair color, and it looked crazy. It looked super dark next to the bleach blonde, because I know it doesn't seem like it because my hair is pretty like light, but when you have like a bleach blonde next to this, it looked super dark, and I was scared, but I had bad roots and I just let it grow out until I was able to cut off all that bleach blonde, and now my hair is healthy. I've been through 2 babies, so postpartum hair loss has come for me, and I've come back from that, and my hair is also healthy and shiny, and the best hair of my life. So how did I get from that scraggly mess? Scraggly is the best word to describe what my hair is. Hopefully I can add some photos. A lot of them have been lost to the sands of time and the internet, but I had scraggly hair, and it's been 7 years now since that hair appointment. Yeah, it's been 7 years, and this is like the hair I've been maintaining for maybe 2 or 3 years now. And my hair type is very delicate. I have fine hair, so even though I have a lot of it, each strand, if you can barely see it, is baby soft, super delicate. And this type of hair is actually very difficult to grow out because it breaks easy. The wind will break my hair. My pillowcase can break my hair. The collar of my shirt can break my hair. Hair dye can break my hair. The wrong brush can break my hair. And so you might be thinking, well, Caitlin, how did you grow out your hair without just keeping it in like a claw clip at the base of your neck and like never styling it, never using a hair dryer? Like, how did you do that? I know a lot of people online, you're gonna see tons of conflicting advice. This advice worked for my hair type, which is like a rather straight, like I kind of used a waver today, but it's fine, like 1B, maybe even 2A as far as waves go. It's not porous, but it's very delicate. So let's dive into the tips. It's not going to be super organized, but we're just going to run through these. So the first thing I did for hair 911 SOS was to actually stop cutting it. I saw Jenna Marbles in one of her like last videos before she left the internet, had super long hair, and she was answering the comments that were asking, how did your hair get so long? And she basically said, I know we're supposed to cut our hair every 6 to 8 weeks, but I just don't cut my hair. I cut it every 6 months or maybe once a year. And so I took that advice and I cut my hair once every 6 months, and that made a huge difference. Instead of just getting it cut regularly or fussing with the scissors myself, I get it cut every 6 months, and I get a blunt cut, because the thing with fine hair is that it's so delicate. So if you get layers, all the ends are going to be exposed like a staircase all up and down your hair, and that can all rub and break up your hair. Whereas if it's all like around one length, all those hairs can protect each other. So I don't have fine breakage like up here because all the bottoms are down here and they're protecting each other, if that makes sense. Blunt cuts are better. So if you're growing out your hair from a disaster zone, a blunt cut you don't even have to like take off all the damage. Like I said, my hair was about to here and I did not like go for a bob. I just did a blunt cut and then I slowly grew it out. So that was the number one thing. Number two thing was my diet. I needed more protein. I honestly think I could be like an egg and cheese vegetarian if I wanted. I don't always like eat meat. I know it's so good for me, but it's not something I'm like naturally gravitate towards. I love fish and all of that, but it's a lot of work to cook meat. So sometimes I get lazy and I don't get all my protein. But when I started on my hair journey, I was also kind of like, I think 2 or 3 years into the hair journey, wanting to get pregnant. So I was upping my protein anyways. So I drink, get ready for it, whole milk. Not raw milk. I'm not part of that fam. Like, no. Whole milk from the store. I drink that almost every single day. And the reason is, yes, protein, because your hair is literally keratin. Keratin is protein. But I drink it because when I was first starting this hair journey, I saw on this old blog from like 2002. You know when you Google something and it brings you to a super old website? I saw this woman and her hair was like almost to her knees, and she had a blog all about her hair. And one of the things she said was that she drank whole milk. I was like, well, this lady clearly knows what she's talking about. And she's not trying to sell me a product. She's not trying to sell me anything. She's just giving me the tips. So I'm going to do it. And it worked. It worked for me. I know a lot of us are lactose intolerant and other kind of things, but really what the whole milk, like the idea of it, there's vitamins, there's protein. So make sure you're getting your vitamins, make sure you're getting your protein. That was huge for me. Yogurt, Greek yogurt, eggs every day, that kind of stuff. I also noticed a huge difference with vitamins. I take prenatal vitamins. No, I'm not trying to get pregnant right now. But I noticed like my hair growing like a weed when I took prenatal vitamins for my first son, and then I didn't stop because I had a second baby right away. And then after that child, I just kept taking them, and I still take them. And it's not dangerous for your health. You know, prenatal vitamins are very like full of a lot of things you need. And I noticed that my hair, nails, skin, all of that is so much better with when I take prenatal vitamins. So I take those every day too still. And I think that's a huge impact on my hair. And that's a tip that's actually not in my other video because I didn't quite figure that out until about a year ago when I was like, should I wean off of these? Because like, why am I still taking them? I'm not trying to have a baby. And then I did. And I noticed my hair was not as good. My nails were not as good. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep taking these. And of course you could take like maybe a women's daily vitamin or hair, skin, and nails vitamin. But I've noticed the most benefits from just a standard, bog standard prenatal vitamin. Oh, I would also like to talk about hormones. So since I started my journey too, I have a positive ANA and I have an undisclosed autoimmune disorder. So these tips aren't just like for perfectly healthy people. They're also for people who maybe are sensitive to flare-ups, autoimmune flare-ups. So something that I do to make sure my hair is still growing like a weed, even with my health issues, is to avoid stress. Yeah, I know, easier said than done, right? Avoid stress. Doesn't everyone say that advice for health? But honestly, yes, avoid stress. And how do I do this? Well, you guys know your girl backs off YouTube when life is too intense. Sometimes it's really fun to be on here. Sometimes it's stressful. So I look at my plate and I see what I can peel back on. And yes, that means saying no. That also for me means not consuming stressful media, the news, true crime, stuff like that. Things that stress the nervous system, especially like learning about violence against children, reading about war, or like too much, like I think a lot of people in the homemaking community feed on way too much conspiracy theories and other. Hi, baby.
We have to take a nap.
Okay. You going to take a nap?
I'm going to take a nap.
Okay. Can you guys say thank you to Dada?
Thank you, Dada.
Stress, letting your partner help you with the kids. Because I had a high-risk pregnancy with my second child, I really had to rely on my husband a lot more than I expected to or planned on. And it was so good for me because it stopped me from being this perfectionist who was just intent on doing it all and doing it all perfectly and then flying off into the sunset. Like, no, I need my husband. I could not parent alone. You guys saw in my last vlog, parenting alone is hard. And when I am put in like stressful situations like that, you'll notice in my last vlog too, I take a lot of naps. I don't push myself. I see friends a lot. I make sure my mental health is like on point. And people literally lose hair from stress. Like, I know this is maybe like a flippant kind of silly part of the video. Like, oh yeah, sure, I'll just avoid stress, as if you can avoid college courses or a job or studying or all sorts of things that stress us out. I know that that is not realistic, but I do think stress management and coping techniques are super vital when we're considering overall health as well as hair, because hair is often a marker of our health. You know, is your body able to produce the protein and keratin needed to grow out your hair? Does it feel like it's dying and your hair is falling out? A lot of this is also affected by hormones. I'm not a hormone expert, but I do know eating nutritionally balanced meals and making sure your circadian rhythm and REM cycles in your sleep are all squared away. All of that stuff that like many health podcasts can teach you about are vital. Thanks, honey. Can you shut the door for me? Thank you. My hormones, for example, before kids used to be rather irregular. I could tell by my menstrual cycle it was not regular. But since having kids, my menstrual cycle is super regular. My hormones feel balanced. And recently I started taking this supplement. I'll link it in the description below. It's like, I can't even pronounce it. It's like phospha something. And it's supposed to help with your brain. And I've noticed I've been getting way better sleep. And when I get better sleep, my hair is better and my health is better. So really, like, think about your sleep. Think about, you know, the things that are stressing you out that maybe you could put to the side for a little while. You know, a lot of us have more on our plates than we need to have, and it's sometimes life or death. Sometimes you don't have a choice, but other times there are things that you can say no to. There are things that you can take off your plate, even if that means working harder sometimes. Like maybe you don't realize it, but maybe your environment is stressing you out. Maybe your house is overwhelming and you need to get organized, or you need to address a situation with maybe like a toxic relationship or a toxic friend. I love like looking at the progress of my hair throughout my relationship and marriage, because when I started my relationship, when I first got married, my hair was like broken, like I said, to here. And now 7 years in, thick, luscious, this man does not stress me out. He makes my life better. And I think like sometimes, you know, we can think a lot of that stuff is just woo-woo or silly, but it's true that sometimes the stress in our life and the relationships in our life show up physically on our bodies, and your hair could be falling out because of things like that. Furthermore, as far as practical things, so moving past hormones, nutrition, stress, all of those underlying things, getting enough water and sleep, there are some practical everyday things that you could be doing that could improve your chances at growing out long hair. And a lot of people don't know this, but you can be doing all of the right food, all of the right sleep, all of the right water, not being stressed, and still be wrecking your hair because you're not caring for it properly. Some people in this world still don't even know that the hair does not like grow from the bottom. It grows from your scalp. And scalp health is one of the most important things when it comes to growing out your hair. A lot of Korean like content creators, I love when they go to a scalp spa and they do like the microscope on the scalp and they show their viewers like the flakes and the damage and all of that, because a lot of people don't realize it, but washing your hair regularly is so key for growing out your hair long. Now, that is if you have my hair type. I cannot speak to curly girls. I cannot speak to 3C, 4C, 4AB, all of that kind of hair. A lot of that hair has a completely different wash routine. So take what I'm saying is just entertainment and not actual information for your hair. But if you have hair that looks like mine, you could benefit from maybe washing it more regularly. I did not realize this at the time, but I was dry shampoo's number one friend, and dry shampoo was wrecking my hair because I was trying to take the advice from people to train your hair to accept the oils, and the oils are good for the shaft, and like washing and blow drying your hair wrecks it. And I remember thinking, if blow drying my hair wrecks it, like why does it feel the most healthy after I get a blowout at the salon? I follow a lot of hair influencers online, which is another thing I'd recommend, but most, if not all of them, blow dry their hair. They heat style their hair. Heat styling and blow drying are not actually a problem if you are using the proper heat protectants and deep conditioners. So this advice might be a little crazy for you guys, but I'm actually recommending the opposite of a lot of hair advice online. And this again is if you have my kind of hair, and if your current routine's not working for you and you're wondering why, maybe you need to wash your hair more. I use the same routine for the past 7 years. It is not expensive. I use a clarifying shampoo. I use this every single time. Sometimes in the winter when my scalp gets dry, I'll switch to like a Head and Shoulders dandruff shampoo every once in a while, just to get some extra moisture on my scalp. But this is perfect because my hair being the way that it is, so delicate, products will sometimes build up and cling on it. If you've ever washed your hair and it still feels like dirty after you blow dry it, it could be because you have product buildup on your hair. You have too much oil, coconut oil, and all types of conditioners and milks on your hair, and it's coating the strands, and that will cause it to break off. Just like if you have too much product built up into your scalp, too much dead skin, too much oil, too much sebum, it will cause your hair to fall out. Your pores will be clogged. A daily clarifying shampoo. This is $2. has saved my hair and helped my hair grow out long. Especially if you have hard water, soft water, that type of stuff can affect your hair too. So a shower filter, I don't currently need that at my house. So happy about that. But a lot of us, especially the girlies in apartments or a new country, if you move to university and you're like, why is my hair falling out and breaking? It could be because the water is wrecking your hair. So clarifying shampoo. This is different than a normal shampoo. You know the shampoo where it's like volumizing, moisturizing shampoo. That's coating your hair with something. Clarifying strips your hair. So it's just soap. Like what's left on my hair after is nothing. And this is great for fine hair because like you can see, look at those tiny little baby strands. Do you think these strands can tolerate thick product being dumped on it? No, they can't. That's also why they get more oily quicker. And that's why I wash my hair every other day. My routine is that I run every other day and I also wash my hair every other day. So after I exercise and get all sweaty, I wash my hair, I do my routine, follow up the clarifying shampoo with this conditioner, Hello Hydration. Back when I wondered if I had curly hair, which for a bit I thought I might have curly hair because my hair was so damaged, it was kind of like waving a bit at the bottom. But once my hair grew out, it's actually very like kind of straight and healthy and all of that. But when I had curly hair, and I saw this recommended on a curly girl forum, but it actually works for me. It's like a no silicone, no sulfate, which is something to be careful about when you're doing like research on which conditioner you want. This one's nice because it doesn't, again, coat my hair. It softens and moisturizes it, but it does not coat it. And then I follow up every single time with It's a 10. This is the Walmart version because your girl's cheap, but it does the same thing. It's the same, like if you read the ingredients, it's the exact same thing. It's a 10 leave-in conditioner from about here down. This is like a leave-in conditioner, but it's also a heat protector. This is amazing. And then if I'm going to curl my hair or straighten it, I use this. A lot of these recommendations were from the Fine Hair subreddit, so I recommend finding what type of hair you have, joining the subreddit for it, and searching for like their mousse recommendations, their deep conditioner, their shampoo recommendations, because those girlies have your hair type and their advice is going to be baller. So that, and then I use this as well, and I've used it for years. This Amazon hair serum smells so good. I get so many compliments. I use this sometimes on like day 2 if my hair, especially in the winter, is feeling kind of dry. So I use it mostly on the underside of my hair and then the bottom. And I want to kind of show you guys too about breakage, just while we're on the topic. My hair at the base of my neck is much shorter. Okay, that's not doing a good job of proving it to me. Oh yeah, it's much shorter. So this comes to about here. This is from the base of my neck. And the reason is because this like rubs on my jackets, my sweaters, my pillow, all of that. And it breaks off like shorter than the stuff at the very back of my hair, my head, which is much longer. So breakage is something that when you're growing your hair out, that can be the number one thing holding you back. And I think that's why a lot of people avoid like hair dryers and curling irons and straighteners because they think it's breaking your hair. And like it might if you don't use proper heat protectant and oils. But we also need to be considering other things like ponytail holders, wind, coats, being rough with your hair, not having a good brush, using an off-brand Dyson Airwrap that's like shredding your hair. Things like the Revlon brush, which I did used to use, but it was like breaking the ends of my hair, so I had to stop. Super intense like heat. You can use heat without using it all the way cranked up to 10. Just holding your hair on a curling iron for a really long time. That's not the way to do it. What you do is you use the curling iron for a couple seconds and then you let the curl fall out, but then you let it cool on your head because the cooling is what causes the shape of your hair to stay like that. It's not actually the heating. Once you get your hair to a certain temperature, it will form like that once it cools down. So be careful. Learn the proper techniques. Learn the proper information that you need to grow your hair out. Also, protectant styles are not just for people with, kinky coily hair. They're for everybody. Protecting your hair, especially at night, is key, especially if you have, breakable hair like your girl. So bonnets, again, not just for kinky coily hair. I use bonnets at night too. This is a long hair bonnet. My cousin who has waist length blonde hair, her hair's even better than mine, guys. It's like twice as thick as mine. She uses these and I was like, I want to be like you, my friend. I want to be twins. So I got a long hair bonnet. You tie it on your hair, like around your head, and you wear it at night. A silk pillowcase. I used to do Lily Silk sponsorships. I'm still a huge fan. I have Lily Silk pillowcases. Even my husband, who's bald, loves his Lily Silk pillowcases because it just feels nice. My son too, my older son has my hair type, and it's been kind of validating having a child with my hair type because I see how quickly his hair gets matted and knotted, and I realize he's not doing anything wrong. That's just how his hair is, and we have to care for it. So I switched him to a silk pillowcase too. We use a deep coil, like a deep conditioner on his hair, and it doesn't break off anymore or cause knots. So being really careful about breakage and knots and those kind of things is so important. I know it's super tempting when you find a knot in your hair, and my hair, just from sitting here, will form knots. Like, that's my type of hair. Like I said, it's super like baby fine, and so it'll gather up a knot. So when I find a knot, I just spend time like gently working it from the bottom all the way up. Whereas in the past, I would just take a hairbrush and just like wrench on the knot because I was so sick of having knots. But now I take my nails and I like patiently work through it. Being patient with your hair isn't just about wait years and your hair will grow long. It's also about the daily patience and maintenance. When I was a lot more about speeding around and just getting a ton of stuff done, I would rush the process with my hair, and I would rush blow drying it without putting a heat protectant in it. I wouldn't let the conditioner sit on it as long in the shower as I should have. Those kind of things. When I get a knot, you have to take time. So think about breakage. I also want to talk about tension. Slickbacks are very in. Hopefully they leave soon, at least for your big forehead girlies. Slickbacks aren't always like the most flattering, but a lot of those styles are very tension focused. A lot of them encourage not washing your hair, just put gel in it and slick it back. And I really encourage us to pause and consider scalp health when we're approaching those hairstyles, because putting a ton of product on your hair so your pores can't breathe and slicking back so there's tension on the roots can cause hair loss and breakage, and it can just cause like tension alopecia too, where your hair's simply falling out because you're cranking it back 2 or 3 times a week. Be very careful. I do a slick back occasionally, but usually it's better to just wash your hair. Also, for my friends who think air drying is better than blow drying, I noticed my hair growing much more like a weed when I stopped letting it air dry. Even now, when I air dry my hair, I notice way more tangles and breakage. This is because it extends the time that your hair is wet, and when your hair is wet, it is very vulnerable to breakage. It's very weak in that state. So getting my hair dry with a proper heat protectant on it with a gentle brush and just blow drying it. I do blow dry my hair every other day. I have gotten way better results with my length and my journey to hair growth. Also, I do want to mention my favorite hairbrush. I use wet brushes. My favorite one is the Conair. This one's also fine. I have it on hand right now. These are very gentle for delicate hair. So consider your hairbrush. I know a lot of people just have a hairbrush they've had since middle school, but that's not always the best. So this, or like a boar's hair kind of hairbrush, are more gentle. Just everything needs to be patience and gentle. And I'm not a huge product person. I'm like, if I find something that works, I will use it for a decade. So you don't need like a million hair products, but make sure you have one of everything you need. So have a hair oil, have a heat protectant, have a deep conditioner. It can be the Walmart Equate brand, it doesn't matter, but make sure you have those things on hand to start incorporating them into your routine. The last thing, influencers, hair influencers. Don't sleep on the hair influencers. Those girls with the hair to their tushy know what they're doing. It's not like a fitness scam where you don't exactly know what someone's eating or what they're doing to get their body. Hair kind of speaks for itself. Either it's natural and you grew it out, or it's not, it's a wig. So if you are like online in any capacity, I encourage you to follow like a hair TikTokers, Reels girls, not just the ones who are hawking products, but the people who kind of like give you the 411 on how they grew their hair out. I personally, when I was in the thick of it, really enjoyed Audrey Victoria. She helped me grow my hair out with her tips. Just, information on products that actually help hair health, that kind of stuff. And then also my face massage go-to girl who I feel like she's helped me sculpt up my face for the first time in my life. She has also super long blonde natural hair to her tushy, and she accredits a lot of her hair length to scalp massage, which is one of the last things I wanted to hit on in this video. Massaging your scalp and just increasing blood flow works. It's not like a fake piece of advice. That actually works. And I've noticed since upping that, I've been doing her face massages for a little less than a year now. I noticed oh, that's affecting my hair growth. I was able to grow out my, this is a cut bang, but do you guys remember my hair was to here, in January? And now I have had this much hair growth. And that's important too, to realize if your hair up here, say you did grow out bangs, if you were able in a year to grow your hair from, okay, let's be a little more realistic, from here to here, my hair was like this less than a year ago, which means I was able to grow this much length. If you can grow that at the front of your hair, you can also grow it down here at the bottom of your hair. And the reason you're not is because it's breaking off. So let's address why your hair is breaking off. Are you box dyeing it at home? Are you rough with it? Are you getting way too many haircuts? Are you not oiling it ever? Are you not massaging it? Are you not washing your hair enough? Are you not using heat protectants? All that kind of stuff. I also need to add, I don't do this anymore, but when I was in, again, SOS hair crisis mode, hair oiling was part of my routine. I used a grapeseed oil, and the night before I would wash my hair, I would take grapeseed oil and I would put it from about here down, which at the time my hair was this big. So I would go from here to here, and then I would put it in a little clip at the top of my head, and I would sleep. And then in the morning, I would wash it out, and that did a lot for my super damaged hair. I don't have to do that anymore because my hair is not damaged like that, but hair masks once a week it's never a bad idea. Just make sure you're not packing a ton of oil on your scalp, because again, your scalp is skin. It needs to breathe. It needs to be cleaned off, sloughed off. Really get in on the dead skin with your nails. Maybe even do a scalp massager in the shower. Consider hard water, soft water, your hair type, all that kind of stuff. But the number one thing I would say is being delicate. Treating your hair, I think I said this in my last video, like spun gold, whether you're blonde or not. Treat your hair like spun gold. Losing a strand or a chunk of a strand would be like losing money. Make sure you are super delicate with your hair. I notice a difference when I'm not delicate with my hair. I like to go on bike rides. You guys know this, and I love the feeling of the wind in my hair and my hair flying behind me on the bike. And you know what? That wrecks my hair. It causes knots, it causes breakage. So I had to start being much more careful with my hair and doing a little clip at the bottom of my neck, tucking away my hair and protecting it from wind damage. Hair, we're also heading into winter, ladies, so my seasonal friends, consider the dry, cold air, the hot air up from the vent we're about to experience. That's rough on your hair. So let's be careful, treat it nicely, but you don't need to avoid the hair dryer like the plague or the curling iron either. You guys know I use those. I use my hair dryer every other day, and I was able to grow my hair to such a point where I had to get it cut because it was getting stuck in the waistband of my pants. So don't just assume, if I want to grow my hair out, I have to be gross and only wash it once a week. I can never use a hair dryer and I have to do all this crazy stuff. You don't. You just have to make sure for your hair type, you're following a routine that preserves the shafts and ends and cleanses the scalp properly. So your scalp is getting blood flow and it's clean and not being broken down by dead skin and oil that can cause it to like literally fall out. And also make sure your sleep is on point, your hormones. I hate giving pithy advice about stress because I've kind of built my life over the past like 7-8 years to be as least stressed as possible. That's like a huge priority for me. I had an extremely difficult time in university, like leading up to my hair crisis. I was losing my hair. I was so stressed. I was grieving. I had classes and work. I had like 3 jobs. I had a lot of relational turmoil, family problems. My hair was not doing good. And it was the worst like part of my life I've ever experienced. And so as I've been growing as an adult and trying to build a life that revolves around peace, of course, like my hair has gotten a lot better too, because it's also, you know, it's time consuming to like learn all this stuff and to protect your hair. Sometimes you're just in a like point of life where you have to just throw it in a claw clip and go. And this is not to shame anybody who's ever like, if you're unable to grow out your hair, if you have like different hair than me, it's not even to say long hair is the most feminine. If you're curious about what I think about feminine hair, I have a feminine hair video where we go over other types of hairstyles, short, pixie cut even, that I think are so beautiful and feminine. So this video isn't to say long hair is like what all feminine girls need to be doing. It's just because you guys were curious about like my hair routine and how I was able to grow it out so long. So that hopefully covers everything. It's like anybody else's hair advice you're gonna see. Clean your scalp, protect from damage, protect it at night, eat properly, sleep properly, and stop getting haircuts. And you might notice a difference. If I forgot anything, please add your tips in the comments below. And if your hair is a different type than mine, leave your resources and that kind of stuff down below too, or just tips. I know it's super helpful because we have a diverse, lovely community of women of all different backgrounds and styles. And you guys can speak to like other hair types where I can't. So check out my last hair video too. I'm sure there's nuggets in there that I haven't talked about now because I'm a little mentally farther away from my hair crisis days than I was even like 2 or 3 years ago. Back when I was just like kind of fresh out the slammer with the bad hair. I'll also try to link some products. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just trying to like share what I do because that's what you guys wanted. But in general, I hope you guys just feel encouraged. You know, hair is a really long process. It's not an overnight thing. I did not get here in even 2 years, 3 years. It took a really long time, you know, and if you're in a position where it's just feeling like a never-ending road ahead of you, I hope you can be encouraged and just know I did not wake up one day with this kind of hair. It took a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of like trying and failing at different things. And I also had a lot of years with like shorter, breaking, like not so great hair. I've been there too, and you have my sympathies. It's hard to grow out your hair. Oh, also, I used to tease my hair a lot. I learned that technique from my mom from the 80s, you know. They would tease like the crown of their hair and that would cause a lot of breakage too. So I used to like wrench on the brush. Teasing is where you take a brush and you kind of do this so that when your hair goes back down, there's like poof underneath and you can hairspray it and all that kind of stuff. I only tease my hair now for like special events. I don't do it daily because again, that can like cause breakage and wreck your hair. Perms, that kind of stuff. Be careful. Be safe. Be safe out there, ladies. I would try to remember too, like hairdressers don't always know about hair health, especially for your specific hair. It depends what kind of salon you're going to. I trust, weirdly enough, people online a little bit more, like hair scientists, people like that who can give you the real facts about hair rather than just recommending like a certain shampoo that their salon is partnered with. You know, be careful when you're like going into the salon, like try not to get sold a bill of goods, you know, on certain things. Like try to take everything with a grain of salt. Even my advice, you know, maybe a hairdryer would wreck your hair. I don't know. I'm not you. It's just important to not go to anyone and treat them like a hair magician. Most people end up in a routine because it works for them and then they don't really deviate from it. So anyways, that is all the advice I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching. And if you're interested in more beauty related content, I have a lot of stuff from like prior years. I'm hoping to get back into it. I think sometimes I don't do beauty content that much anymore because I feel like I've covered a lot of topics. But if you're interested in maybe rehashing more topics, like this hair video is a rehash of another video. But I am, almost 30 now. I'm a mom. I have a bit different perspective on beauty. I also feel like I've done a bit of a postpartum glow up. I'm feeling great, feeling really confident. And so if you guys are curious about certain advice, skincare, that kind of stuff, I don't know. Just let me know below if you want certain topics. The hair journey is so long, it can be discouraging, but just know I'm rooting for you. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.